it was two things. And aside from really these two things, and even going back to prior to being diagnosed with Parkinson's, not thinking in my wildest imagination that I would have Parkinson's. I thought when I went in to see the doctor that it was some, quirky thing you pick up as you get older. But overall, going back to the before the diagnosis, I was basically doing what I wanted to do, Roman. What I mean by that was, if I wanted to go out and bike 40 miles with a group of guys, I would do it. If I wanted to go hiking, if I wanted to go golfing, if I wanted to do yard work, I was able to do all that. Some days, the aches and pains are more obvious than others, and I'm talking about in general, just my whole physical well-being. And I'll tip this down, but the first thing I noticed is like I'd be walking through the house, outside working, golf course, and my right arm would be at a 90-degree, just kind of stuck in that position. And I would look down and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I'd put my arm down and swing my arms and just go about my way. And, a little bit later, it would be right back there at that position. Didn't hurt, wasn't affecting my day-to-day activity. So I just figured I'm getting older, you pick up different habits. Well, the second thing, not long after I noticed that, was dexterity in my right hand. Of course, I'm right-handed. But if you were to drop a quarter or a dime on the floor and we were walking and I reached down to pick it up, being right-handed, that's where I would start. But I would fumble around. And, at some point you may be thinking under your breath, what's wrong with him? I'm not saying impossible to pick it up, but I would make it the hardest thing. You think, how hard can that possibly be? But those were the two first things. As far as headaches or depression or, whatever, I didn't have that, and I don't have it now. That's, knock on wood. That was basically in a nutshell, how I felt, the results of, many concussions and things like that. But, now I take the medication that 99.9% of people with Parkinson's take. It suppresses the symptoms for about 3.5 hours. I take it again and, and hope for a cure, hope for something to stop the progression, hope for something to at least slow the progression. As we speak, there's nothing out there. There's talks that there will be in the next few years, but, all in all, I'm very blessed. I'm extremely thankful. Would I do it different if I went back and had an opportunity to do it all over again? I don't know, Roman. I loved playing. I loved the way I played. I loved the way I competed. I don't think I would have done it any different, to be honest with you.
You can be a voice for a lot of people out there that maybe don't have a voice.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be a voice for Parkinson's, but it's what I'm called to do. I have it. I certainly want to beat it or find a solution. And I want the same for other people. And I want them to know that we're in this together.